Oh. Oh, okay. You've seen the animated stuff, right? Yes. Rearranging my desktop so you can see everything you want to see. Research check. So my outline game went good on Friday. That was interesting. Did that 3 computers, 7 people on 3 computers. Stay up there because we were together. Chris and Julie were together. And then Steve came over, so we're all on 3 of us on 1 computer. But those 2 were in person, so it was easier to handle. Let's see. Fine. Sooner or later here, I will make Ellie's stats character sheet. Or maybe just print something off that. Would you like to review what happened last time? Hey, you're muted, Norm. And I love it. Yeah. Oh, that's right. I lost my pen. Ooh, I get it.
And we're live.
Live. Doing it live.
Live and in living color.
Live and really early on a Sunday morning.
Yeah, it's not that
Depends on when you went to bed.
early. Well, here's the big question. What time did you go to bed?
Midnight, I think. So I guess it really isn't that early.
Yeah, I was going to say that's not late.
I got more sleep than I do during the week. Let's just put it that way. So
No, nothing wrong with that.
Nope. It is perfectly good. And now I have my coffee. So I got that going for me,
Yeah.
which is nice.
As do I.
Yeah, buddy.
Turn it. There we go.
You're just all about the sports stuff today, huh?
Yeah, you like that?
Yep. Chicago Fire. Yeah.
All right, so we might as well pick up where we left off.
Yep.
Last week.
Hello, everybody. Two Nerds, One Quest.
Yeah, I suppose we could do that too.
That's Norm.
I'm Norm. That's JC. This is our weekly D&D thing.
Game.
Thing.
Adventure, one-on-one.
Campaign. Playing one-on-one DM versus my guinea pig.
It's really funny because you put versus. You said versus, which it really isn't, but it has definitely felt like it these first two sessions.
Yeah. I'd have to say that your mentality in the first two actual sessions has been kill Aronan.
It's not on purpose. Excuse me.
I feel like it has been. I feel like it's a vendetta for some long beholden grudge.
Nope. It is what it is. So, would you like to recap what happened with Aronan and Elli last week, Norm?
Yeah, we got really far down the road. So what happened was Aronan and Elli left the inn, went to the job board, looked at a couple jobs. Aronan picked the one that was more likely to give him some... are you flexing?
My muscles are sore. I helped someone move yesterday. Well, move a ton of shit, so... I mean, yes, I could flex, but it's more just... You know when your muscles are sore and you just kind of... It's like,
Yeah.
It's really weird, too, because this bicep is way more tender than this one for whatever reason. I don't know why.
I could give you a guess.
Shut it.
That's right. I was going to make a comment about how my wrists are really sore from raking for like 6 hours yesterday.
Raking.
Uh-huh.
Yep, okay.
I figured I would get that joke in before you did. Anyway, so
right.
Went to the job board, picked out a job that is going to service Aronan to the best of his extent versus helping others, which is seems to be Ellie's forte. So they embarked on a journey to... I don't remember the name of the place.
Gnomegarde. You're trying to get to Gnomegarde.
Trying to get to Gnomegarde. And about 5 minutes into the trip, Ellie wandered off the side of the road.
5 minutes game time.
5 minutes game time, so probably half a day into the trip.
Something like that, yeah.
I don't know, give or take. Time is elusive.
A good ways into the trip. Well, the interesting point is that Aronan was kind of leading and wasn't finding Gnomegarde, fuck, World of Warcraft reference. Gnomegarde. He wandered off a little bit from where he should have been headed, and they stumbled upon someone being attacked.
Yep. So we went down. It was kind of in a windmill type situation, and it was being attacked by a thing.
Manticore.
Manticore. That's right.
Yeah.
You're gonna have to remind me of all these names because I am not gonna remember.
No, that's fine.
Woman inside the windmill is being attacked by a manticore. Elli, of course, wanted to help. Aronan wanted to keep going. So there was a nice, really, really, really long battle in which Aronan fell, and then Elli fell, and then the woman helped Elli get up after Elli helped Aronan. Refer to myself in the third person. That's great.
Yeah.
And at the end, the manticore died, and now we are in the windmill with Elli and the woman and Aronan, and trying to get back on the road.
So you had just
I just looked out the window, and the manticore is on the ground.
Yeah, laying on the ground. Expelled its last breath. What would you like to do?
So I'm going to tell them to hold on a second. I'm going to run down, because there's a couple things I need to do real quick. I'm going to run down and grab my I wish my computer would turn on so I could look at all my stats. Look at my sword, or grab my sword, because I left that by the fireplace, my rapier.
Mm-hmm.
But I also want to be sure that the manticore is actually dead.
Okay. So you head down the stairs, and you get to the door, you open the door, and it's laying there in front of you. It does not seem to be moving at all. Need you to make a medicine check to determine whether or not it is actually dead.
All right. Do you have my sheet up in front of you at all?
No, but I can rather quickly. I actually just need to...
Actually, I'll have it up in a second. The computer I have that I usually do it on is... It had updates, and then it wouldn't turn on, and then it's...
I thought you said you were ready this morning, Norm.
I was, but then as we started, my computer shut down because of updates.
I see.
Yeah.
Your medicine's +2.
Yep. Natural 20.
Natural 20. You start exploring around the manticore like you would. You see several wounds from it. You realize it is not breathing. It is not moving. You believe this thing is 100% dead.
Okay. So is there anything I can take off of it that would help us on our journey? Is there any magical properties or anything I can...
You may be able to harvest some of the spines on the tail that would have a poison in them. There is some danger in doing so.
Like
you
poisoning
understand
danger?
Yeah, you could poison yourself if you don't do too well at this.
Okay. So let me take a look at my sheet here. What stat would I use for that?
Survival. You'd be making a survival check to...
I'm going to do it because I have +4 on survival.
All right.
No natural one, no natural one, no natural one. Oh, also we should probably say that last week the dice gods were not happy with
the
anything
dice were nice.
Elli did. So hopefully today will be a bit of a different situation. 19. So 23.
19. 23 total.
Yep.
You are able to pull out safely 3 of these manticore spines from its tail. The rest of them, those are the good ones. You went for the ones that looked like they were most intact, that didn't have any like scarring on them. You were able to do this carefully. What would you like to do with them now that you have them removed?
I'm gonna put them in my backpack for now.
Okay.
So how do I go about doing that? Do I just add it to my manage equipment?
Yeah, and I think you can actually just type. I don't know. I don't play often enough to. Should be able to type to add it in.
How do you spell?
We may have to create them if you want to write them down on a piece of paper that you have them.
Paper. All right.
Inventory. Oh, here, custom items. Add custom item. Can I change? Yep. Oh, that's how you do it. I think, maybe. I don't know. Never mind. I don't know what I'm doing.
All right, I'll add it after. I'll just
Yeah,
manually write
we'll
it down.
dig into that.
How do you spell Manticore? Mantacor.
Manticore.
Scales.
Spines.
Spines. Good lord, I'm messing everything up already.
No, it's okay.
Times 3.
You are all good.
So would this be something I could attach like to my arrows?
Possibly. I mean, you attaching them to your arrows.
Or having somebody have somebody.
Yeah, you could have someone, or at least extract the poison to use on your arrows, or someone may be able to make arrows with them. So, use them as the arrowheads or something.
Yeah. Okay.
You just have to find someone that can craft that stuff. So, when you go recover your rapier, as you were going to do, you come back to the door. As you're coming back to the door, you see the woman sitting there. She says, "Is dead?" "Yes."
Yeah, is dead.
"Oh, thank you so much. My name is Adabra Gwyn.
I'm sure it is.
You can call me Addy." I know. Oh, I'm very lucky you guys came along at that moment. Your friend is upstairs. She's weak, but she's stable. Would you come inside, please?
All right, I'm gonna go inside. I'm gonna thank her for helping too. Thank you.
Oh, well, it's what I need to do out here. When she mentions her name,
Mm-hmm.
you remember a job posting from the job board about going to try and convince Adabra Gwyn to come back to the city to be safe. She's an alchemist. She works out here by herself, and they were concerned about her safety alone out in the woods with the dragon sightings.
All right, so I'm gonna ask her why she is so far outside of town with the danger of the dragon.
If a manticore can't get to me, well, how's a dragon gonna get to me? I'm safe within my tower here.
The manticore would have gotten to you if we wouldn't have come along.
Oh, it wouldn't have gotten in.
It would have gotten to you.
I'll agree to disagree with you on that.
So is there a reason why you don't want to go back into town?
I see no need to. The people there are not the most educated. Some of them think I'm a witch. To be in a town where half the populace believes I'm a witch would be a constant state of harassment to me. Here out on my hill, in my tower, they can call me a witch, and they all stay away. No one wants to venture close to her. So, except those that truly know that I am an alchemist.
Can't you teach them?
Only those willing to accept the truth. Sometimes the truth is a hard thing. There are truths in life. Some people have personal truths that they cannot deny. And if they believe something, they believe it, whether it is actually the truth or not. A factual truth or a... my mind is not working so well. There's a name for the specific type of truth that it is.
That's okay. I know what you're trying to say. So what until this dragon until this dragon is taken care of, is there any way to convince you to go back to town? Any assurances that I can give you?
No, not so much. Leave all my supplies behind. I could not. It would be a great undertaking for me to move back to town, but it is okay.
Is there anyone that we could have come and help you?
No, I don't have anyone. It's better this way, trust me.
If we stopped back here on our way back to town and helped you carry stuff back to town, would you come with us?
It is not likely, but if I gave you a note saying I was perfectly safe and secure, you could turn that in to Mr. Wester, I'm assuming is the one that wants me to come back to town. You give that to Mr. Wester, assuring that I am safe in my own handwriting. It should be enough for him.
I will accept that note.
Okay,
But if you change your mind, we'll stop back on our way back through.
that is fair. So she goes over to a little table and grabs a little piece of parchment, dips a pen in some ink and scribbles it out and folds it up and seals it with some sealing wax. She's kind of shaking it, getting it to cool off as she comes back to you. She hands you the little folded piece of parchment. Is there anything I can do for you? Specifically, I mean, you did help me take care of the manticore.
Is there anything you can do for Ellie?
I can heal her. We will need some time. Just the night, probably. When you spend the night here, leave in the morning on to wherever you were headed. Where were you headed, out of curiosity? People don't find their way this way much.
We're on our way to Gnomegarde.
Ah, well, you're a bit too far to the east if you're coming from Phandalin. Or no, I'm sorry, the west. My apologies. You need to head more to the east. It's a little south and a little east from here. Probably about a half a day's journey yet.
Do you know anything about the area? Or do you know anything about the people that live there?
They're gnomes. It's not a great. It's not a city per se. It's a series of underground caves. That all the entrances are at the mouth of a river, basically. Waterfall out of a couple of the caves, land into a pool. And I've never actually been in there, but I've seen it from the outside. It's a beautiful place. There is.
Is the entrance hidden?
It's kind of in a little valley. I mean, it's not out in the open. Here we are type thing.
But it's not behind like a giant boulder that I have to push away.
No, nothing like that. There's several entrances. You may need to climb to get to a couple of them. But for the most part, it's a kind of obvious it's there once you get there. But
Okay.
it's just getting down that valley by the river.
I don't suppose you happen to have a map of the tunnels, huh?
I do not. Like I said, I've never been inside. I've only seen it from the outside.
All right, let's go up and take a look and see what we can do for Ellie. Is there any, as a side note, are there any potions or anything we can maybe buy from you or you'd be willing to give us for our journey?
Uh, I gave you 2 already. I do normally sell these at 50 gold, but those 2 were on the house per se. I do have a few more if you wish to buy some. And I will give you one. I will give you another one for your journey in thanks. You can mark a potion of healing. But I do need to make money, so the rest of them I will need to charge if you want them. I do have 3 others currently.
All right. Well, our finances are not in a place where that is doable right now. So
Okay, I understand.
let's go up and take a look at Ellie and see what we can do for her.
I tell you what, if you give me 2 of those spines you got, I could give you another potion. And then when you stop back, maybe I'll have something else for you as well. It's a little unsettling because you didn't think she saw you do it.
Yeah. I'm gonna try and barter with her and say 1 scale for 1 potion.
With 1, I can give you 1 scale for 1 or 1 spine, 1 potion for 1 spine, but I may not have anything for you when you come back.
All right, I'm gonna give her 2 spines.
Okay. Thank you very much, she says. And she takes them and hands you another potion. So you have 1 spine now and 2 potions of healing.
Yeah, I can't pass up the unknown. It could be really cool.
All right. So then you guys proceed to have a dinner, a meal, and take care of Ellie. She brews a broth with several different herbs and stuff.
Several different herbs and spices.
Herbs and spices, and it smells kind of pungent, but she feeds it slowly to Ellie, and you don't notice it because eventually you go to take your rest, but she is still asleep when you go to take your rest. The night is uneventful. No other manticores or sounds unnatural from the woods. You wake the next morning.
Am I getting hit points back or anything, or am I?
Yep, this would be a long rest.
Okay.
So you can hit the long rest button at the top and then confirm that long rest.
It says reset maximum hit point changes during the rest. Okay.
Yep. And confirm. The long rest is taken, so you'll get all your hit points back that you were missing. When you wake in the morning, Ellie is sitting there with Addy, and they're talking.
It didn't do anything. Come on.
Didn't do anything?
Confirm.
You hit the long rest
There
button,
you go.
and then take long rest, and then you got to confirm as
Yeah,
well.
it was. Yeah,
for
the
that
confirm
token.
button wasn't popping up.
There we go.
I was like, why is this not working? And I didn't gain a level last time, did I?
No.
Okay.
Nope. Depending on how this goes, you may this time. You wake in the morning to see Ellie and Addy sitting at the table with what looks to be a coffee or a tea pot in between them, drinking and chatting, talking about the village, talking about different things. Coffee talk. What would you like?
I'm gonna go over to the table, sit down, and ask them if they have any coffee or tea or whatever.
Addy looks at you and says, "Well, it's not coffee. It's kind of a tea. It is honestly, it's a bit better than coffee. Here, and she pours you a cup of it.
I'll drink it.
It is a strong. It's not dark like coffee. It's like a green tea looking color, but it has a very strong, like cinnamon honey texture or taste to it. Very clean. It doesn't leave much of an aftertaste in your mouth or anything like that. Um, it's enjoyable. You actually enjoy drink. You don't notice anything immediately, but it doesn't seem bad. So
Excellent. So I ask them what they're talking about.
oh, just where we came from, what we're going to do. Ellie says. I have a better idea of how to get to Gnomegarde. I am somewhat familiar with the region she's talking about, so I think I know the river. If we can find the river, then we just head south along the river. We should come to it.
As long as you know where we're going.
We just got to find the river, and that's to the east. So if we head east, then
southeast.
well, if we find the river to the east, and then when we find the river, we head south.
Ah.
He's so difficult sometimes, she says as she looks at Addy. Addy just kind of chuckles as she's into her cup as she's taking a drink. Doesn't really say anything about it.
So I'm going to say, so considering the last time I listened to you straight up, we both almost died. I am at liberty to ask you inquiring questions about your judgment.
My judgment? Let's not forget how we met, my friend. Me pulling you out of the woods after fighting a goblin?
Are you going to hold that over my head forever?
Maybe. She grins.
I'm waiting outside.
Okay. You go ahead outside. The body to the manticore is no longer there. You see drag.
Oh, go ahead.
You see drag marks for about 20 feet, dragging it out into the ruins, and then it just like it disappeared.
I slowly walk backwards back into the windmill. And I say, you may want to come outside and look at this.
Okay. Addy stands up and actually she turns from Ellie. Addy and Ellie were like stood up there saying goodbyes and stuff. Addy turns around and just kind of looks at you quizzically and then okay, and she comes walking out to the front door and she looks and she's like, huh. Seems the wildlife may have taken care of our body.
If by wildlife you mean something large and able to fly because it's dragged and then nothing, then you are correct.
Clearly, I have no idea what it is though. She rolled a 1 on her survival check to notice anything odd about it. It was clearly taken by something that could fly. So I don't know what that would be. Maybe a dragon. I don't know. I have not seen it. I have only heard the rumors.
Before we walk too far outside of the front door, I'm going to look around to see if I notice any dragons or anything flying around that can get us.
Make an investigation check.
Okay, so investigation is +3.
Yep.
19 + 3 is 22.
22. Dice
Dice gods love me. Screw Ellie.
You look around, you see nothing in the sky. As you kind of look at where the body was, you do see large, like, claw marks in the ground, like something landed.
Like really heavy, like impressions.
Yeah. Yep, impressions and yeah. So whatever it was large, had big claws, and flew away with the manticore body. You're assuming, based on all the rumors, dragon.
And then, yeah.
Yeah.
But I don't see anything immediately around us.
There is nothing immediately around you, and there's nothing that absolutely confirms it was a dragon either.
Yeah. All right. I think it's about time to hit the road.
Okay. Ellie says her goodbyes to Addy, and as you do you say goodbye or do you just start walking away?
Oh, I'm gonna say goodbye.
Okay. She says, "Take care of yourself. Remember, it may be just an idea. I know you bought them and you traded for them, but one of those potions may be better served in her hands as well. Just so you each have one. I'm just saying."
All right. You're probably right. I'm gonna give Ellie one. I didn't think of handing it off.
Just mark that Ellie has it on your sheet. She pats you on the cheek and says, "Thank you for your help yesterday. Good luck. East is that way." And she points.
I say good luck to her as well, and we head out east.
Okay. You guys head east. You do eventually find that you find the wood line where the woods pick up again, and make a survival check as you find the wood line, because it's pretty dense woods.
16 total.
You're able to find a game trail into the woods, and it's not overly wide. You got to walk single file through it, but you're making your way through the woods comfortably.
I'm gonna go first.
Okay. As you're traveling through this denser wooded area, I need a perception check from you.
You. 8 total. 4
8
plus
total.
4 perception.
All right. As you're walking along, you suddenly feel something grab your backpack and pull on you to try and stop you, and it's Ellie. She says, "Stop, hang on." And you turn around and look at her, and she takes her staff and like runs it through this like cobweb that's across the trail that you did not notice because you were looking at your feet for good footing because the rock is kind of there. She rolled a 16. I kind of wish she hadn't. It would have been fun. But she clears the path for you with her staff, kind of wiping it off on something. You continue on your way.
I'm gonna ask her what that was. Like if she knew what that was.
It looks like it's something from a spider of some sort. And not seeing a lot of it around, so I think we're relatively safe.
Fair enough.
That was no small spider, I will say that much. So, you continue on and end up out on a main trail. I need a survival check from you because Ellie has no clue at this point.
7 plus 4 is 11.
All right. You determine that if you take a right onto this main trail, you'd be heading east. So, as you continue on, you eventually hear the sound of running water as you come to a creek. The woods they aren't as dense here as they were earlier, and as you come to the creek, the sun is in the sky. It's a bright, sunshiny day. There's the the sounds of the woods around you. It's actually very, very peaceful, almost like a mood track that you'd listen to relax.
Soundscapes.
Yep, exactly. And if I had one right now, I'd be playing it, but I don't have one. Um, do you think we should rest here for a minute before heading south?
Yeah, it seems like a good place. Get some water, rest up. We've been walking for a while, probably time.
Yep, she pulls out some rations from her bag and like splits it, like Sam splitting the
Mm-hmm.
lambus bread,
Mm-hmm.
and she tosses you a piece of it and um, fills her water skin at the river.
I'm gonna do the same.
Uh, as she's sitting there, um, she looks up and one point and very very seriously is looking at you, like looking you straight in the eye. Thank you.
For what?
Saving me.
Hmm?
I know. I know I joked back at you that I saved you. But that could have been my life. I didn't think you would have been in any major danger. You would have recovered and gotten out of the woods on your own eventually. Had I not had your help back there, had I not had Addy's help, I would have been gone. So, thank you.
We'll call it even. No need to thank me.
I Manticore versus a goblin? I hardly think that's even sure. But if you want to, I appreciate it. Have you ever been to Gnomegarde?
I have not.
Me either. Addy knew very little about it. She said she had heard rumors something weird about magic, so I don't know what that is, but it's got me a little concerned that my magic may not function the same way if we go in. So,
Did she didn't say how strong the magic was, did she?
no, just that it was different. It was wild. It did different or extra things. It adds to your own magic.
So it could be helpful.
Maybe. Could be hurtful though too. I'm nervous. So,
Well,
I just wanted to make you aware in case I did something and
it
it went
backfired.
wrong. I'm gonna try and avoid using my magic if I can. But
How good are you with your staff?
good enough to clobber a goblin. I don't.
That's unsettling. Well, let's worry about that when we actually get there.
Yeah. Um, I do know that uh, Gnomegarde is ruled by two kings. Um, Last I heard, it's a low population. It's just a little settlement. There's like 20, 25 gnomes that live there. Um, the fantastic inventors, though. They make all kinds of magical items. Maybe that's where they get their magic from.
Could be. Are they all magical, or is it just a certain area?
I think it may be the area that's magic.
So
They draw.
not the gnomes themselves, just the maybe
Yeah,
the hill or the area that they've settled in.
yeah. Again, I've never been there, so I'm going off of other people's stories. She sighs and puts the last bit of her ration in her mouth and takes a swig of water. Well, shall we?
Yeah, let's get to it.
So you stand up and you start heading down the river, making your way down the river. I assume you take the lead again?
Yep. And I'm assuming we're headed south.
Yes. Yes. You believe you are headed south.
Is there any way for me to?
You know you're headed south.
Okay.
Addy verified that the river flows north. So you're going upstream.
Okay.
And that should be taking you south. So it's rather uneventful. You see some fish in the stream as you go by. There's a deer across the river at one point, drinking water. You make a dexterity check. Or do you try and scare the deer? I was going to say, I assume when you see it that you want to hold and try and... But if you want to scare it, you can just scare it. It's up to you.
You assume that I want to what?
I assume that you want to be cautious and look at it and see it as you walk by.
I don't care.
Not disturb it. You don't care?
I don't care.
Okay. You kick a rock at one point. The thing, its head pops up. It looks for a little bit. And then you make another stick crack or something. It turns and bolts off into the woods. Ellie, you hear a sigh from her, like, it was a beautiful creature.
Well, if we would have had more time, that beautiful creature would have been dinner.
Well, that's fair as long as we eat. Would have been a lot of waste, though. I can't eat that much. I'm sorry.
I'm sure we could have carried some of it.
For a day or two, maybe, but then it would have started going bad. Yeah. All right. Then your day continues on as you guys kind of talk about... She talks about her religion. At one point, she gets into talking about Lathander and the things that she's learned and the things that she believes.
If she would have been able to see my face, she would have seen my eyes roll out of the back of my head.
Do you actually challenge her on any of it? Or do you just listen to her?
How long has she been talking about it?
Probably about a half hour, 45 minutes.
Yeah, I'm a challenger.
Make a persuasion check. We'll just go that route rather than talk this all through.
8 and 3, so 11.
11? She rolls her eyes and stands firm in her belief. And she had a 17. So what you were trying to convince her of, she's like, no, this is the way it is. This is the way it has been. And so you guys keep moving on, having a little bit of a religious debate as you move on down the river. Eventually, it starts getting hillier as the sun's getting lower in the sky. Not real low, not dinner or twilight or anything, but it's late afternoon, or mid-afternoonish. And you hear a waterfall sound, like you hear a ton of water falling and splashing. And you see ahead, it kind of goes down a little ways and turns. The river turns into a rock formation, basically. Kind of ducking away out of your direct line of sight.
Okay. Is there any place that I could go to get a better view of it without necessarily being seen?
To see it specifically, it would be difficult. You have probably the best vantage point, as this seems to... Actually, no, it wouldn't be coming down. It goes up. It does not come down. It goes up into a hill. So you'd be able to make a survival check. If you got out to the west, possibly.
Yeah. 9 total.
Um, as you're scanning out to the west side to try and see someplace where you might be able to get above this, you don't see anywhere that looks like it would be a real safe climb to get an upper view.
All right. I think I'm gonna. All right. No time like the present. How are you feeling? Do you feel any magical issues?
I don't feel anything yet. Everything feels very normal. Um, should we just go up the river?
Does the river lead to the opening?
That's what Addy said.
So yeah, let's try that. Let's kind of be cautious though. Kind of keep your eyes open, and if you feel anything weird, let me know.
Okay. Um, she ends up going up the river. Are you letting her lead? Or are you gonna lead?
I think I'm still gonna lead.
Okay. Um. And then one second. I'm trying to get you the map that I have here for you. Um. And send. There you go. That's the map that you have. So you're coming in from what is the north end of this map. You're on the west side of the river
Okay.
as you're coming in. Trying to get all these set up because I have my own map for this. It has things marked on it that you can't know about. So you're coming in on the west side of the river there. As you come up, you come around the corner and you see a bridge and this waterfall beyond it. There are two small islands out in the middle of the water that have different mushrooms on them. There's like some red mushrooms and some purple ones and some green ones in various patches on those two little islands. Up to your right, up a 30-foot cliff face, is a cave that you can see. There's also one that's on the opposite side of it that seems to have a small path you might be able to walk up. A little bit further in from that one it's not as tall, but it is as steep as the one on the other side. There's no path to it really, but it's about a 20-foot climb up into that cave. And then there are the two caves on either side of that bridge. Those are the 5 caves that you see that would lead into
So which
what you
one
believe
is the
Gnomegarde.
easiest one to get into?
The one on the when you're looking at the map, the
Mhm.
one on the east side of the river with the little path on it, that would be the easiest one to get into. That you don't think that one would be difficult. All the rest of them look like you would need to climb.
How good are you at climbing, Ellie?
How good am I at climbing? Um, uh, I don't know. Not very.
All right. I think our best option would be to, well, first of all, what do you know about mushrooms?
Mushrooms. There's lots of stuff you can do with mushrooms. Does you can eat some of them. Some of them I wouldn't recommend eating unless you like seeing strange, fantastical things. Um, I
Can you tell
know
them
some.
apart?
Uh, I've never actually seen these strange, fantastical things. I know they use them in medicine. Um, I haven't seen those mushrooms before. My understanding is that the gnomes use these. Ellie or Addy said they had several purposes for their mushrooms. So she didn't know what they were, but she knows that they harvest them.
Do you do you think that Addy would be able to use these if we picked them?
Possibly.
Can we make it out to that island?
Yes.
Is it deep water or is it walkable?
It's 3 feet deep. Maybe waist high, a little bit higher than that.
Robin Hood Men in Tights. I'm drowning. I'm drowning.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. All right, we're gonna walk over to that island. Actually, we're gonna take a look around. I'm gonna take a look around first and see if anybody's like spotted us or see if.
Okay, make a perception check.
12 plus 4, 16.
16, you don't see anyone around. It's relatively quiet other than the waterfall. The sound of the waterfall and the water hitting the ground. Or the water hitting the pool below.
Yeah, so we're gonna go out to that island and pick some of those mushrooms and see if we can't make use of them somehow.
Okay, you get out to the island. There are 3 different colored mushrooms out on the island. There are some bright red ones, some dark green ones, and these kind of violet, pinkish purple ones.
I think we're gonna pick a handful of each one.
Okay. Yeah, you're fine to do that. You pick a handful of each one, store it in your backpack.
All right.
Right.
Yeah, I don't want to carry too many. So I think we're gonna go across to the east side of the, continue over to the other side and then go into that one where Ellie's not gonna fall off the face of the cliff and, die.
That is probably a good idea. Okay, so you trudge through the water, you get up out of it, and you're just dripping. Ellie's grabbing like the bottoms of her like robe and trying to wring it out so she isn't carrying a ton of water with her. And the little trail that's about 2 feet wide that winds up the side of this cliff to this cave lays before you.
All right, I'm gonna. Are we in the mouth of the cave or are we just kind of off to the side?
It is above. You are. This whole area is like a valley almost.
Oh, so it's a winding trail going up.
Yeah, that's a winding trail that heads up and to a cave mouth.
Okay. Yeah, so we're gonna start walking up. I'm gonna kind of keep my eyes open and see if, like, is there anything that's dangerous that I can see that's around?
I am going to back us up for a minute.
Okay.
These mushrooms are not small mushrooms. I am sorry. They're 2 feet tall. So you have cut away a chunk of each of the different colors.
Yeah, I'm not carrying that.
No, yeah, I'm sorry, I forgot that. So as you get to you don't need to roll anything to climb this little winding trail. As you get to the top, you come to a cave. The ceiling of the cave is about 7 feet high. It's illuminated. There are hanging lanterns, like it looks like oil lanterns, down the hallway. They all seem to be attached to like a rope and pulley. Like they lower the lantern to a gnome level height to light it or refill it, and then raise it back up. So all these little pulleys run along the cave, and the lantern hangs above.
How how high?
The cave ceilings are 7 feet,
Okay.
so you can walk under these lanterns, but they're only a couple inches, maybe a foot over your head at most.
Are they lit?
Yes, yeah, they are lit. It is the source of light for these caves. There is no other light in these caves.
I'm gonna ask Ellie how she's feeling at this point.
I feel okay. I don't feel threatened. My magic seems fine. I don't know, though. I haven't tried casting anything.
Fair enough. Um,
As you look in the cave right here,
mhm.
there you can see that the path goes straight ahead to what looks like a dead end from where you're standing, but you see there is also a turn before that, shortly to the left when you start entering it.
I'm gonna hold on a second here. I'm gonna add something.
Okay.
Hey, that's a little big.
That's what she said.
Mm.
Hey-o.
So I'm adding up into the upper left-hand corner a map of what we're seeing, so that way people following along can
Okay.
actually see what we're doing.
Yep.
I might actually do that for going forward. I might have to do that. All right, good to go.
Okay.
Okay,
So you have the path leading forward, and then it turns off to the left. Make a perception check.
I was gonna say I'm assuming that all the little icons on this map mean absolutely nothing to me at this point,
Correct.
because
You don't
this
know
is
what they
just a
are.
generic map, and there's
Yep. You don't know what they are. I know what they are because I read the adventure.
oh 11. Oh,
11
plus whatever.
plus
4
4.
is 15.
15. Okay. As you get to that first Y where you can choose to either go left or keep going straight,
Mm-hmm.
you hear from ahead of you a little bit of laughter, like almost maniacal laughter, and like machinery, like sing thunk, sing thunk, sing thunk, click 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 click, sing thunk. And you hear that coming from down the hall in front of you.
So refresh my memory. We're going after a magical item to bring back, right? Or we're going at
Correct.
yeah.
He wants a magical item from the gnomes.
Yeah. Now the
Wesker.
question is the question I struggle with is, do I want to sneak around and try to just take it without them knowing, or do I want to talk to them? Man,
Ellie's looking at you expectantly.
I'm sure she is. Be patient, woman.
Don't you woman me? Wait, why? What's giving you pause here? There's
Well,
clearly someone down that way. We could go that way.
there is.
Introduce ourselves.
Do you know these gnomes are friendly?
I don't know. I've never been here.
Do you feel like fighting an entire clan of gnomes in their home base?
You make a good point. I don't feel like fighting, period. We could go introduce ourselves. And if they ask us to leave, we leave. Then Maybe we can just go ask for an item. That'd be the best way.
I think we're gonna try to avoid them. If we run across people, we'll just say we're lost and we need to talk to somebody. But I think at this point, we're gonna kind of sneak around. I don't. I'm not trusting these gnomes yet.
Okay.
Let's go left.
Okay. She sighs. As you go left, you move down the hallway about 15 feet or so, and it opens into a dining room. There are several chairs and table, stout wooden table. There's dishware and utensils on it. Everything looks miniaturized for you. Like it'd be half the size you would need if you were actually to sit here. Very clearly set up for gnomes. There isn't anyone present here. But you do hear the sounds of you're looking at the dining room. You're assuming it's a kitchen, maybe, because you hear pots and pans and clanking and cooking happening. So,
But I can't quite tell where the kitchen is.
no, you see an entrance leading out of this room on the other side, but halfway down the wall. An exit, I should say. Sound seems to be coming from that direction.
I feel like the kitchen's the wrong way, Ellie. I can't imagine they'd have anything over in this direction. Let's go a little bit further.
You can go further in.
Yep, we're gonna go a little bit further in.
Okay, so you go a little further in. There's that. You go about 10 feet in. There's a turnoff to the right, and what you assume is the kitchen with all the sounds coming from in front of you. They seem muffled though.
I'm gonna keep going. I'm gonna keep going. Yeah, which way?
Straight,
Yeah.
or are you turning to the right?
No, let's go straight.
You go straight. You come to the end of the hall, and to your right, you turn, and about 5 feet in, there is a wooden door. There, sound coming from the other side of it.
Is there like a keyhole or anything?
Um, yeah. It's the whole door. It's fitted wood. It has rusty iron handles and hinges. Um, looks like it would work, but it does stand before you. There is a keyhole, but you're not sure whether or not it's actually locked.
I'm gonna try and look through the keyhole.
Okay. When you make a perception check.
8 plus 4 is 12.
8 plus 4 is 12. As you crouch down to look through the keyhole, you realize that there is no actual locking mechanism on the door. And about the second you realize there's no locking mechanism on the door swings open and pops you in the head.
Yeah, of course it does.
Take 3 points of bludgeoning damage.
Oh, damn it.
And you hear a small voice from the other side go, crap, damn it, who's over here? And a pan, like, rolling on the ground. Wow, 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 wow. And this little hand kind of pulls back the door. There's a little gnome standing there. Let's see, hang on. Which one is this? This little female gnome. Who are you?
Oh, I apologize. I am Aronan. I am, we seem to be lost. We wandered into your cave looking for someone and we're kind of turned around.
You're looking for who? you should go speak to Fiddlestib or Dabbledob. They're in the workshop. That's on the other side of the cave system. But go talk to them. They know about things. This is a kitchen. You don't need to be here. There's nothing in here you need. It's just our foodstuffs. And you can see beyond them. There's another female gnome just stoking a fire, and there's a male gnome up on a stool, and he's got one of those big mushrooms, and he's using this contraption to like squeeze it, almost like you would juice something, and there's this oil pouring out of the bottom of this red mushroom, and he's capturing it in this little pail, and he's pressing that, and that's what you see from there. You're muted. What was that?
I don't see any pots or pans or any.
You see lots of pots and pans, and
So
you see
it
another.
looks like a kitchen.
It looks like a kitchen. He's doing the one gnome is doing something with one of the red mushrooms.
Hmm.
There's a table that has several loaves of bread, but they're like green.
Okay.
All just kind of piled on. There's clearly a mess of some sort of stew in front of you on the ground.
I'm gonna ask. I'm going. Can you take us to them? We don't want to intrude on anybody else.
Go this way. Go back the way you came, and then take the left there, and follow the curve around. Oh no, that's gonna lead you that way. Maybe
Are you sure? Is there any reason why you can't help us?
I'm 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 making food. I'm making wine, but I need to do that. And now I need to make a whole nother batch. So I need to clean this up. Follow the path down that way. Okay, bye. And she starts going to clean up the stuff. You get the feeling. Go ahead and make an insight check, honestly. And that'll be a better way to do this.
8 total.
8 total. You don't seem to notice it, but Ellie grabs your arm, and she kind of whispers to you, "They seem to be scared about something. This doesn't seem normal from what I've interacted with gnomes before. She's very flighty."
I'm actually gonna say to the gnome. I'm gonna call out to her again and say, "Are you okay?"
You really need to talk to Fiddlestib or Devilbob. Just head back the way you came, and yeah, you'll find them. And she's like cleaning up this mess of stuff. It's purple all over the floor.
Oops.
Chunks
Chunks of purple goo.
chunks of purple stuff floating in a purple goo.
All right, let's go, Ellie.
Okay. Maybe I should lead, she says.
Nah, I think I'm gonna lead yet.
Okay. Hang on one second. And she takes a cloth and like dabs your forehead. She says you're bleeding. And kind of wipes that up and folds it up and puts it away.
Stupid door. All right, so we're gonna go back the way we came.
Okay, are you going back through the dining room? Or are you gonna turn left and head towards that arced part?
Well, I kind of want to go back through the dining room, but I also really kind of want to go the way that he initially said, but then told me, "No, don't go that way because there's that there." So I'm gonna go the way that he initially told me to go.
Okay.
Ellie, let's go left and see which way he didn't want us to go.
Okay. So you go down that way, and it curves as you turn left and you go down the hall there. It curves to your right, and there's another opening there. When you get to that branch where it opens into that other room, there is start hearing the machinery sound and giggle you heard before, like that click 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 funk, yeah, oh that works, click 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 funk, and you're hearing that sound being repeated, and the giggling as the well you don't know what it is.
I'm gonna peek into the room.
You peek into the room and you see these. They look like oversized crabs, but clearly mechanical. It's like a half of like a wine cask with a cover on it with like legs that come off of it and these like pincers that like seriously it looks like a big puppy. Pause for puppy. So the sound Norm is hearing is actually another contraption that the gnomes have created, and it's actually a gnome inventor who's a little nuts. So I'm trying to create some uncertainty with him by just giving him the sounds that he's hearing, and trying to make it seem a little unstable with the laughter, which it honestly is. Hey, look at that! There's a puppy. There's a puppy. That's Gus Gus. Gus Gus. Yeah. I like Gus. Gus is a good puppy. But he's being loud for whatever reason.
So somebody drove by the house and honked the horn.
Oh, Gus. It's okay. All right.
Yeah, everybody's got their eardrums blown out based on that.
Yeah,
probably.
exactly. So you're looking at these. They don't seem to be moving, but it seems like someone could actually like it's got a cockpit. It looks like a small tank type thing that you could get inside of. You could probably fit inside of it, but it would be very cramped. It looks more gnome based size, obviously. There's the one off to the left, and then you see the pinchers of another one off to your right. No one in this room, though.
Nobody in the room.
Nobody in the room.
But we could hear them talking.
This isn't where that sound was coming from.
Oh.
That sound was coming from the other direction.
Let's go in the room and investigate.
Okay. You walk in. These are, as you start looking at these, they have a small leather padded seat. There's several levers and pedals and gears. They don't look like they're airtight, so you don't think they'd be able to go into water or anything like that. They look kind of like crude forklifts, basically. They look like they're used to move stuff around.
Mm-hmm.
They don't look like they'd be used for anything delicate at all. They do seem like they'd fit through the passages you've been in so far. Like they could probably crawl around this entire establishment based on what you've seen. Yeah, that's what you see. There's a third one being built too that you didn't notice earlier.
Can we look inside the casks, or are they like? Can we?
Yeah, when you open, like it's almost like a cockpit. When you open up the cask and look inside, that's where the seat is with all the levers and stuff. It's like they took the cask.
I gotcha.
As the base for it, because hey, we can ride in a cask. And then determined, oh hey, we need something to help move stuff, so they made these.
I'm gonna ask Ellie if she's ever. Have you ever seen anything like this before?
No, this is actually kind of marvelous. And she literally tries to climb into one and sit, and she can get in there, and she could sit in there, and you could probably close the top, but she's gonna be in there like it'll be really kind of tight.
Like Andre the Giant in a mini?
Yeah, something like that. She's careful. She does not break anything. She does not.
Oh, that's good.
Doesn't start it or move it or anything like that.
So she didn't roll a natural one?
No, exactly.
All right.
Actually, it was not even she could have moved something or broken something with more. So.
All right, let's keep going.
Okay. So you turn, you head out and you follow that hallway the same way.
Yep.
It kind of not dead ends, but stops and takes a sharp turn to the left. When it takes a sharp turn to the left, I need you to make a dexterity saving throw.
Crap. Ooh, good. 17 plus. Where the heck's my dexterity?
Oh, excuse me.
Oh, plus 3, so 20.
Okay, so you turn and you see it, and you shove Ellie back down the hallway a little bit, and you drop to the floor as a crossbow bolt comes sailing in, hits the wall, and sticks there. And you hear laughter from down the hall. You turn and you look, and down the hall there is a machine. It looks like several crossbows, heavy crossbows, in the middle of with a seat in the middle of them. Like the seat, like the whole thing can swivel around and turn and shoot crossbows in multiple directions. So, sitting inside of this is a little gnome with like goggles on his head and a little like white lab coat on. Sorry, that's beautiful. And he kind of turns and we can call it right there for today, and we will get your interaction with this little gnome going forward.
That seems like a good place to stop. That's funny.
Yep. So clearly the gnomes are something's going on. They're not comfortable talking to you, specifically the ones you ran into at least. And then one shot at you. Maybe not intentionally. He did say sorry.
Well, that was very nice of him.
Yes. Yay, we didn't kill you this time.
Yeah, didn't even come close.
No.
Although you made me get hit in the head with a stupid door.
I hit you in the head with a door and you dodged the crossbow bolt, so that could have been
I'll take that.
That could have been much worse.
Yeah, I'll definitely take that.
So, all right,
guys.
I hope you all enjoyed that. We'll see you again next week.
Yeah, good time as always. Twitter, 2nerds1quest. I'm at Tom M. Norm, and that's at Wildfire1265.
Yep, that'd be it.
I never remember what your Twitter handle is until I start typing it. I know it's like the Chicago Fire, Minnesota Wild,
yep,
1265, but yeah, I never remember that.
Cool. All right, we'll catch you folks later.
Thanks, guys.
Are we clear? Interesting.